Hello and welcome to today's video, where I show you how I written, recorded and produced my Reigns of Castamere cover that I released last month. So first of all, this is my Cubase session and we're starting with the writing part. So as you can see here, I have a drum track, then we have the vocals folder, we have a bass tripled with a solo part, some leads, rhythm guitars, quad tracked and some synth. So for the tracking part I basically played the melody. And so on. So I basically played the whole melody here, and then I laid underneath the chords, and I basically played the same with the bass. The drums, I used Superior Drummer 3, and I basically used some random grooves here that I have and dragged and dropped them. The drum itself, it's a preset from the Death and Darkness. It's the Arhus Abyss Kit 2. And drums sound like this. Not so. And so on. So I didn't do much writing here, maybe interchange the fill or so, and I think I programmed the intro myself. So after that I laid out my rhythm guitars. I did know that I wanted to include some black metal riffing, and I think that's what I did here. Just this, and then I did something else here. And basically arpeggiated it. And then here I had some hefty chords. And here I did the same, here's some open chords, and then the song is already over. So as far as the leads go, I have basically doubled the leads. So I played it 2 times. And then I've thrown in some fun stuff. Here we have the third. So here we have, it's the chorus, and here we have the third. And then I have the octaves, also doubled. And then I've recorded some delays. I occasionally do this when I want to have a specific delay, and that's the case here. Also doubled for panning. That's for the lead part. Here we have the solo with some harmonics, but all in all, nothing too fancy. Okay, as far as the mix goes, we first of all, before we go to the mix, let's add the effects here, the synth. So I have 2 times labeled music box, and this one is actually a music box, Spitfire Audio Labs, and I doubled it with the harp from the BBC Symphony Orchestra. Okay, so okay, and I have some effects I will talk about later. Then in the verse I have an auto harp, plucked labs again, and a cimbalom. It's an original Spitfire. Here's the auto harp. Just stacked them for a different flavor. In the chorus I added a choir, a male choir and a female choir, and this is East-Western. No, we don't want to have this update. So the East-Western Hollywood choir, the males, and female. And I've written the choir, and I tried to write it as you would write a choir. So no parallel steps or so. And then in the end I added another auto harp and cimbalom just for texture. Just playing the chords that the guitar is playing. Okay, that's it for the writing, and now let's go to the mix. And I kept this mix fairly easy. So we start with the drums. Drums, just one track. We have this, well, let me choose this maybe. So used Brainworks BX Refinement. This is something like Soothe, and I used the Townhouse Bus Compressor by Plugin Alliance, and I added a room track here. Okay. So this adds a bit more glue. As you can see, the needle is around -3 dB or 3 dB. This takes care of some harsh frequencies from the cymbals. And here we add some room. Well, yes. And this goes into my main bus. No sense, no EQ whatsoever. Okay, as far as bass goes, we have 3 bass tracks. This is my DI track, and then we have an amp track, and here we have a distortion track. The DI track so I just have low pass, high pass, or low cut, high cut, so that I just have basically the bass. And then I put a limiter onto it, and I basically really killed the signal. Well, not here. So that I have a consistent low end. For this bass, it's the exact same signal, so maybe we should go to the chorus. Again, low cut, high cut. This time I want to focus on the mid frequencies. And then I added the MPEG SVT3 Pro, and I have the gain set fairly high, added some mid-range treble, and yeah, that's it. And then for this part, I've said I've used the Cleartone Grindstein. This is actually, I used the preset that I used for the last Nightbearer record, and I think I tweaked it a bit, maybe some other cap or so. Basically, it's just distortion. And after that, I again get rid of the bass and want to focus on the mids. So those 3 tracks are leveled here. I've decreased the the amp, and this goes to my bass group. And my bass group, I've the SSL 4000E console, high cut, a bit of compression, some mid frequencies, lower mids, and some reduced highs. And I also write the gain. And then we go into a VLA 2A compressor by Black Rooster Audio, just to give it more. So for the rhythm guitars, as I said, I've quad-tracked everything. So we have 4 tracks here, and every guitar plays the same, and 2 are panned fully right and left, and the other ones for 75%. The main guitars, it's this one and this one. I have used the Solidus VS8100 with my chainsaw setting, and I have a preset I always use for tracking and for demos, and yeah, it's the chainsaw setting. I basically set the drive and this EQ, it's a chainsaw curve. We go into the amp, a bit of a V shape in the outboard EQ. And then, basically the cap IR that comes with this plugin, so no Bogren IRs here. And for the additional tracks, let's see. So I have a yellow drive, it's the recreation of the Boss SD1 into an Engel E756. I think that's the retro tube. In channel 2. And then into nadir, and here I used the Gates of Hell IR. So those two main guitars. And the supporting guitars. Those go to the rhythm bass. Here we have the rhythm bass, and we have the Kirchhoff EQ. It's just a dynamic EQ to get rid of the for palm mutes. Basically the old Andy Sneap trick, but with a dynamic EQ. Then we go into a console. Low cut, high cut, no compression. I reduced the mids at 420 Hz and I added a bit of 1.4K. Then BX refinement, again just get rid of some harsh frequencies. And I've also enabled a compressor, but it's not doing much. I will tell you what it does when we come to it. So without. Okay. For the lead guitars, my main lead guitar has a the signal chain is the same, and I used the heavy pedal by Audiority in SMM1 mode, but it mixed not. Okay, I think I've just used the gate, so I don't use this pedal. Then we go into the Goblin. It's by Aurora DSP. It's a free amp with the internal IR, basically really standard. Okay. Then we have H delay, add some delay, quarter note delay, lo-fi, and then we go into a standard room. It's the plate reverb. That's for those and for those as well. Don't think I've changed anything here. So basically every lead guitar has this setup, and I've panned them right 60 and left 60. Then the third is in the middle. The delays are fully panned and the octaves 70. Okay. And for the solo, I think, okay, it's a bit of a different preset. My main solo tone is a tiny bit, 10% of chainsaw added. The Goblin is the same. Then I've got rid of the H delay and used the BX delay. I don't know why though. I think because it has a ducking and I wanted the ducking effect. High pass, low pass. And then it goes into the same room. And for the harmonies, there are no delays. Okay, the choir doesn't, I don't think I've, oh no, and the lead guitars and the solo guitar go to two different buses, to lead bass and solo bass. And here I have again the SSL console, bit of compression and low cut. Again added some 1.2 Hertz and got rid of some 500 Hertz. And I added center, although I think I don't use it. I wanted to use it, but then I tracked the other guitar. So I double tracked, and if I haven't, I would have cranked the sides. So this, oh no, it's an automation. Okay, but right now it's not doing so much. And the solo has again the SSL. Basically same settings than I had on the lead guitars. Then we have track spacer, and vocals are ducking the solo. Okay, just a bit here, 50%, nothing. And the solo goes to a send, and it actually goes to the compressor of the rhythm guitars. That means when the solo is playing, the rhythm guitars are actually ducked by top 5 dB max. Okay. So other instruments, the choir, the male choir, just low cut, some compression, and a bit of cut at the 400 Hertz, very broad. Female choir, bit of a higher low cut. The auto harp, just a low cut. Cymbalon, low cut, and for whatever reason this here, I think it for some reason I didn't like this muddy area, and so I cut it. The music box does have some Valhalla Supermassive. Just to add some sparkle. Okay, and I think those go all into the main bus, and that's the last thing we have to cover. My main bus has a Mark compressor here with some parallel EQ on the error band. I think it's just around 4 dB. Okay, we should. Just 1 dB. After that, it goes to the Shadow Hill compressor. I've just enabled the plugin preset. Then we go into the oven, plugin alliance, another preset. With this YouTube covers, I mostly opt for presets, and this is a fairly old mix, so it changed my way. But this song was mixed this way. And after that, some more Mark EQ, just some sub and some more air. And then we go to the stereo out. We have enabled the Master Desk True Peak. It's my go-to mastering limiter whenever I want to have quick results. I've added some resonance filters, bit of stereo enhancement, mono maker, and then cranked the volume. And also a bit of de-esser. Okay, vocals. Florian provided me with these tracks with basically 2 main vocals, and then we have some doubles for this scream here. The main vocals I tracked exactly the same. We are starting with the Purple MC. It's an 1176 compressor. Some go-to settings here. Let's actually let's see. Around 5 dB. Then we go into the Kirchhoff. Again, I filtered some muddy frequencies and a low cut. Go into another compressor. Again, the 2L. And then we go into a console and cranked the gain, added a touch of compression, reduced some mids, boosted some lows at around 170, and again another low cut. And I added some sparkle at 8K. And that's what I did on the mains too, and I think I did the same here. Okay, here I actually added some 2K. This goes in, I think, those go into my vocal BG bus, where we have another SSL console, just some more saturation, bit more compression, and a fairly steep high cut for the backing vocals. And this thing here, I don't use it anymore, but for this I just used the male vocal preset. And what does it do? Boosts some frequencies. The main vocals go to a main bus with some more processing. Now the SSL, 2K boost, a bit more compression and a low cut. Then we add some saturation with this black box analog design. Some sparkle at 40K, and I also increased some 2.5K. And de-esser, just the male vocal preset. And then we this is sending also to the compressor of the rhythm guitars, so whenever the vocals are vocaling, singing, the rhythm guitars are suppressed some dB, and for the solo as well, because here is a part where the solo ends and the vocals start, and I wanted the vocals to pop. Okay, and then the vocals themselves are sending to my FX tracks. We have a short reverb, again BX room here, then we have a long reverb, a short delay, it's the H delay, an eighth, lo-fi again, and we have a long delay, halves, fairly long feedback, and this goes into another room to give it more space. And we also have a distortion track, so I parallel distort my vocals. This is the Audiority Overseer Marshall Governor clone. Have the use of the gate, and here just so. Let's play this part. That I must bow so low. Only a cat of different coat. That's until I hear the brown lords that I must bow so low. Must bow so low. A fairly heavy use of the effects, but I thought it was appropriate for this particular track. Okay, and then I did some automation. It's mainly volume automation. It's here for the choir in the solo part. And here I had some fade. Here again. The leads have some automation. Oh yes, I panned the leads. Basically, when there's no vocals, the lead is more in the center, left 30, and when there are vocals, I move them to the sides to 60, and the same here. Solo, I did some automation. This part was a bit quiet, and here I didn't need this much. So regarding the group tracks, we have some more automation. We have, what do we have here? The center track of the leads is boosted by 3 dB, and as soon as the vocals start, we go to 0 dB. So here they are more prominent in the mid. Just a fade out of the rhythm guitars here, and the main bus has some volume bumps. Whenever there is a new part, we basically go 1.5 dB, 2 dB, 1 dB, 1 dB as well, just to emphasize the part. And yeah, that's how I wrote and how I mixed this song. If you want to hear it, check out the link that will be up here somewhere. And if you want to support this channel, check out the links in the description. Well, and with this said, thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. May the force be with you, and have a nice day.